So mock me now. I'm right here.
Doc, I'm not here for that. I'm here to have a thoughtful, truth, family discussion about. You sent us a bunch of bullet points: local elections, county, federal, presidential,
and that meant that whatever you want to discuss,
Okay,
we're open. Because I think Truth Nation wants to know and hear some of the intricacies, and we talk about it, but we never talk about it together. We never talk about because in the end, we want the African American community to do that word that I hate to use, thrive. But I want them to win. I want them to be able to be independent if they want to be, or work as a group, as a community if they want to do it. But all, a rising tide lifts all boats. Mm-hmm. And so here we're in this treacherous presidential race, treacherous political landscape that doesn't seem like it's going to end after November 5th. Mm-hmm. But I would like to start out with this one thing to think about. I like to tell people the day after an election is the most important and crucial day than the election. Because that's when you're going to start to hear all the policies, all the changes, all the ideas that people said they were going to give you, what's really going to fly, who they're going to choose to head those departments, and how it's going to impact you locally. So I'm going to start out with Bailey Coleman.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Because the lady of the group.
Hold on.
What are your thoughts about this whole all these political issues that are going on, and how is it going to really affect the black community?
Well, I personally feel that if we don't elect the right people, whether it's locally or nationally, it could truly affect our way of life.
In what way?
Well, it depends on what you're looking at, right? I mean,
economically, financially, prisons, education, jobs, what?
Well, we've got one candidate that says he wants to get rid of the Department of Education on the national scale.
Okay.
How will that affect our kids? How are your kids doing now? How will they, what are you thinking? Where are your kids at, and how do you want their future to be? If we don't have some standard there,
right,
then all could be lost.
However, the Department of Education doesn't drive local education anyway.
Okay.
So how do we educate people to say, if that's the case and if you want to get rid of it, because the biggest impact is college.
True.
It almost stops you from rising up. So if you get rid of the Department of Education, you can almost guarantee this as far as you're going.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's major.
That is major. So you have to, it's on the individual. Some people would rather their child take up a trade and you work your way, forward that way. Most people.
Which is education.
But at the same time, sometimes there's a limit there, right?
Right. Exactly.
There's a limit there. You may only end up learning how to work in a factory, and then what if that factory closes? Then where are you?
But you've got the intellect to be a physician.
Absolutely.
A physicist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So all of these things, it just depends on where you are, where your perspective is, and where you are in your life. If you feel like you're that type of person that feels like they're not going to have nothing and this is it and this is their life, and you hope for nothing more, which there are people out there that are cool with it. They're like, hey, I'm good.
Telly Hughes.
Yeah, I definitely want to go before Sherwin because you got to know your spot. It's like you don't follow up somebody that is going
here
to
for the party.
Yeah, no,
that's pulling out.
And you're like the headliner.
Right.
Yeah, you're the headliner. So it's like
exactly.
But
you brought it on yourself, Sherwin. You brought it on yourself.
I will say this about this election. It is so, to me, there's so many dynamics to it because you now have a black female that is running for president, and now all black people are pretty much kind of pigeonholed to vote for her or else because
Do you feel that?
I do, but the messed up thing is the else is so ridiculous that
there's no alternative.
Right, and so you kind of feel like like I said, you're being pigeonholed to vote for her, and the thing is, it's a good and a bad thing. The bad thing about that is. The good thing is, let me start with the good. The good thing is the support factor.
Okay.
It is astounding that, to me, that we can't always see the power we have when we move in numbers.
Exactly.
Whenever we move in numbers, any and everything we want to achieve is achievable.
But let me ask you this. Real quick, can I jump in?
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
wait a minute. I don't want to lose my thought about the bad thing about it.
Okay.
The bad thing is that I don't want black people to feel like she is going to be the president of the United States for black people.
Right.
And I think that, there's smoke and mirrors because that's the first question a lot of black people will ask. Well, what is she going to do for me?
Right.
Well, you got to ask that same question about the other candidate as well.
Hello.
And so that's why I say this is a tricky election, and I a lot of people may feel like they need more time to decide, but the decision should already be made because the contrast differences in these two candidates. So
exactly.
Yeah. So that's about as intelligent as I'm going to sound. Sherwin.
Wait a minute. Can I jump in
next.
here? I got a quick question for you.
Okay, please.
So, do you feel that you would have felt the same way with Joe Biden? You would have felt pigeonholed? If he were running?
No, because no, that's different.
So you would have voted Trump?
No,
you can't call somebody out for what they choose.
No,
man.
I'm just asking.
No, but
you can. But
but it was the way you said it. Not here.
Okay.
I didn't say because I didn't say I was even voting for Kamala. I was just saying.
Well, Bailey, what you're not gonna do is take over.
Right.
I'm not trying
to. No, it's too late.
Bailey,
it's too late.
That's the funniest thing when you watch any sort of any period of time of reality TV. That's what you're gonna hear. What you're not gonna do is I'm like, well, what we do have established is what we're not going to do.
Okay.
But no, I mean, it's totally different. I mean, because
it is.
I am not, saying that I was even leaning towards Biden then.
Okay.
So I don't feel like I'm pigeonholed at all. I'm just saying this is how you could feel pressured because
now what are people going to say?
Yeah, because if a black person come up to you and say, "Hey, are you voting for Kamala?" You're like, "I'm not sure." They're gonna be like, "Well, why not?" Right. You ain't black, she black, and you be like, "Wait a minute, man."
Is that the only reason to vote?
Yeah, exactly.
You all right over
I'm great. All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's all I'm trying to say, Bailey. But
Sherwin Hughes.
That's how you get pigeonholed.
Yeah, there you go.
What we doing? What's going on?
So I don't agree with wanting to rid this nation of the Department of Education for a number of reasons. First of all, I don't understand why a candidate, it seems, is proposing to cut things and take things away that don't need to be taken away. The Federal Department of Education, they set education policy, they collect information and data, they make sure there's equal access to education. Imagine if we have a school system here in Milwaukee, imagine, if you will, that has a lot of children that may have special needs or may be differently able. And if those children are not getting necessary funding, if they're not getting all the resources that they need, the Federal Department of Education says, hey, we have grants and additional resources so that all of these children can get served. Imagine if we have a school system in Milwaukee, just use your imagination, if we've got a discipline problem and we come to find out that black children are disciplined harsher than white children when these children commit the same offense, then the Federal Department of Education puts the Milwaukee public school system under a consent decree that says you need to stop punishing, expelling, and suspending black kids at a rate in which you do when you are not doing anything with the white kids. So I think if you remove that federal oversight, what's going to happen is there will be more discrimination in the United States. And I think the reason why one candidate wants to roll us back, and he's made it abundantly clear he wants to roll back a whole bunch of things. He wants to make America great again, back when they could discriminate, back when there was no federal oversight, back when you could say whites only and colors only, especially when it comes to education. So that's just my piece on the Department of Education. So really most of our politics that we are concerned about is local stuff. we can get into what the federal government does. We can get into the president, what Kamala Harris is going to do for black people. We got to stop looking at it like that, because when you get to the federal level, she is the American president.
Correct.
In a multicultural, multidimensional democracy. Now, there are things that she can support in which black people can participate and potentially get some benefit. But I think far too many of us are waiting for, well, what's she going to do for black people? Which is ridiculous, because right now black folks can do a lot for themselves. We need to stop waiting for somebody else to give us some magic bullet so that fixes everything. We need to take a lot more responsibility, and including voting in damn local elections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no life Ozempic shot, huh?
No.
You just can't take a shot there.
No.
Yeah, your life is different. So why would you expect the president to come and do anything? And you don't even know the challenges that are going to be faced once, if she is elected, because everyone thought it was going to be all good when President Obama got in 2008, and there was someone named Mitch McConnell who said, "You will be a one-term president. I will make sure of that," and went against everything that he did.
Exactly.
And so you don't know the type of challenges that she may have when she is in office. So you can't expect everything to just turn around because she may become the next. She becomes the 47th president.
Telly Hughes, Bailey Coleman, and Sherwin Hughes. You're listening to Truth on Why you got to laugh all the time, Bailey? I just said Sherwin Hughes.
I'm just looking at you and Sherwin, and I'm like...
You know what? Tori's not here.
I know.
Tori's doing very important Tori things. He's being very community, and he's helping the people that need the help. We love you very much, Tori. But I wanted Tori right here.
You know what?
Yes.
I wanted Tori there, too. I miss Tori.
I don't get to work with him very often. He's very insightful, because I listen to his show, like, now more than ever.
Yeah.
The closer we get to these elections, I listen to Tori even more. So I think he would have been a delightful addition to this program. But we're here next month.
Yes. Well, I won't be here next month. But you know what? I love you guys anyways.
Thanks, Bailey.
Anyway, 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to The Truth on Politics.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
It's your boy Benjamin, and I am Milwaukee. Milwaukee has aided in my growth and has witnessed my evolution from a young man from Racine to becoming the man that I am today. When I was young, traveling to and from Milwaukee would always give me a piece of what a city with beautiful summers, beautiful people, and beautiful artistry looked like. And now as I serve the people through my art, I see why Milwaukee had to be a part of my journey. Join me on Jamming with Juice between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 1017 The Truth.
So we do have a drug take-back box at Outreach Community Health Centers. So if people have medications at their home that they want to get rid of, they could bring it to our pharmacy and we'll dispose of it for them. Anything that's not being used, anything that's kind of out of date, even antibiotics, any other medications, definitely it's better to safely dispose of it, and definitely don't flush it down the toilet, because that puts it back into our drinking water supply. So
why is that a bad thing, Annie? Why do we not want to flush our medication?
Yeah, so it contaminates our drinking water. It contaminates our waterways, so our rivers and lakes don't benefit from all of those medications entering into the water supply. And we don't also enter. We have great drinking water in the city of Milwaukee, but they can only filter out so many of the pharmaceuticals. So as much as we can to reduce the pharmaceutical supply in our drinking water, we'll all be better off.
UW Credit Union here, celebrating new branches with ribbon-cutting ceremonies. And not just our 13 Milwaukee area branches. We're also including our mobile app, which is like a branch in your pocket, to check accounts, make transfers, and more on the go. So now, branches are opening 24/7, which is great for our members, but hard on our fingies. Oh, cramp. UW Credit Union, local mobile banking made simple. Federally insured by NCUA.
Milwaukee Public Schools is getting ready to welcome students back to the classroom. The first day of school is September 3rd for all MPS students, and if you haven't enrolled your child yet, now is the time. They offer a wide array of school options to meet the unique needs of your child. Go to mpsmke.com/enroll MPS for more information. You're always welcome to visit MPS Student Services Building at 5225 West Valete Street for help with enrolling. Stop in between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Thank you for choosing Milwaukee Public Schools.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. I've got Sherwin Hughes, Bailey Coleman, and Telly Hughes here live. We're here from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock tonight. Talking Text Line says, y'all know Tory don't come to meetings. So this one I'm going to throw clearly in Sherwin Hughes' lap. Dr. Ken, I'm going to come out of the gate shooting. Wayne said, why is there not a political think tank in the city of Milwaukee to help shape policy for African Americans?
There are. It's just certain people aren't invited to them.
Like
policy
me?
is being discussed every single day. So the first example I could give is right next door to us upstairs, the MMAC, the Metro Milwaukee Association of Commerce. They discuss policy, and they're a lobbying organization where they represent the interests of their 1,600 businesses. There's Rotary clubs. There's all sorts of different associations. Organized labor. Every labor union, they got a political director at every single labor union. We probably have dozens in the city of Milwaukee that are discussing policy and think tanks. But is there one in general for black folks? I don't know. We still got community brainstorming that takes place every third Saturday at the St. Matthew's Church on 9th and Locust. So there are like silos of people that are discussing policy. And hell, the truth, right? We discuss.
That's right.
This is a think tank.
Yeah.
The best think tank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it seems like every show on The Truth, it's somehow, some way, we're talking about politics.
Absolutely.
And I know that's more up Sherwin's alley, but I mean it bleeds into, Truth Be
Everything.
Told,
Yeah.
DT and Telly and every show, underneath that. And so it's important to have these discussions. And I mean, I think I truly believe it's important to have this platform to do it. And there are a lot of things that impact the black community that aren't discussed on the mainstream media. Mm-hmm. And so this is a clear opportunity to maybe get some questions answered that you were always wondering, like, how does this work? And us discussing the importance of local elections and how critical it is to know who your alderman is and why it's important to know that information. So I think that, yes. I mean,
I got to know that?
This is a great.
I got to know that.
Well, I'm sure you do.
So the Talking Text Line says Professor Hughes, so I think I'm going to split the difference and look at both of y'all. The Donald also thinks it's a good idea to privatize the U.S. Post Office. What do you think will happen to postal workers if this would happen? Well, first of all, let me try to tackle that one.
Okay.
Personally,
yes,
please. Based on the level of service I've been getting for the past 10 years, I would have no problem privatizing it. When UPS, FedEx, and Amazon can get me stuff quicker than the post office that's up the block, it's a logistics issue. We've pumped billions of dollars and we've lost billions of dollars every year in a postal service. And one of the issues is that it's private, it's public. Now, I'm going to say this publicly. When everybody gets paid the same, there is zero incentive to speed up. Because no matter if I go fast or if I go slow, I get paid the same thing. Some people do that and they love their jobs and they're fantastic at it. But firefighters know, cops know, city workers know, hey, there's only one speed. Because no matter how fast I move, we all getting paid the same. And so you don't get the level of service that you deserve. You don't get the level of service that you pay for. And so what do we do with that? Well, if you privatize it, you got to get it done. You have to deliver, and if you don't deliver, you don't get paid. That's a whole different thing.
There also won't be a union. They'll be paid.
Not necessarily. You can unionize, absolutely, if you want to be unionized. Absolutely.
If Trump legislates or signs a bill into law that privatizes the post office, the union will be busted. People will be getting paid minimum wage. And
that's an assumption. The law says that if you're going to start a union.
So here's the thing.
Come on now.
And he doesn't change any laws.
Let's be clear, though, about the post office. Like, both my parents, they met at the post office in 1968.
That's why you're here?
So, yeah.
Oh, we got to talk. Oh, Lord, we got to talk. We definitely got to get rid of post office now.
They both retired after 40 years. So my dad was a mail handler. My mother, she actually started canceling stamps and ended up being a representative of management, which was interesting. Political dinner table discussions in my house because my dad was always in the union. My mother got a management job, so my mother ultimately would fire and try to fire and have grievances against my dad's friends. So imagine what they were discussing around the table. but the post office does not take.
So you're a makeup baby, is what we're hearing.
The post office is self-sufficient. It is no taxpayer money because the post office sells priority mail. They sell stamps. So there's no taxpayer money.
They're quasi-governmental.
Funding the post office. So do they lose money? Probably, but there's no
What do you mean probably? What news have you been listening to?
They rarely get any government subsidies. They raise prices. How much is a stamp? I don't even know how much a stamp is. When they need more revenue, they raise the price of a stamp. So it's not coming from us.
Stamps then got so bad they put forever on them.
Yeah.
So you don't know how much you're paying. Yeah, right. Okay.
But you can get a letter from Key West to Juneau, Alaska for 50 cents. Like that.
Yeah.
FedEx is not going. They're going to charge you $20 for that.
Yeah.
But at least I know it'll get there in the time I need it there. 855-616.
Get it there.
1620. But if I give it to Amazon, I can get it there in 2 days. But I'm just saying. What did I say? I said the 620 number, and when I'm on the truth, I say that. Oh Lord, I'm just.
No, get out the cat.
Too much radio.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give out Dave.
833-212-1017.
They all know the number. Everybody listening knows it.
833-212-1017 is the number. Sherwin's favorite person, Shar, is on the award-winning 101.7 Truth. How are you, Shar?
I'm doing well. I just want to make a point. I listen to Tory Lowe a lot, and he proudly proclaims almost daily that he's going to vote for Trump.
Okay.
And what I think, I appreciate activism, but does he know some details? One of the things that Trump wants to do is bring back stop and frisk. He wants to nullify all the consent decrees that were associated with the police departments who were abusing civil rights and abusing black and brown people. And he also wants to make sure that police officers continue to have no liability, whether they've killed people or not. Now, to me, that sounds like the antithesis of what Tory Lowe says he's about. So if you see my brother, ask him, does he want to be stopped and frisked? Because that's what Trump said he would do. He went to the police convention last week. He's quoted. This is from the Washington Post, quoting him and him proudly saying he wants to turn back. He said he wants to cut loose the police to let them do things they used to do. And how a brother who's an activist who combats this daily can vote for him, I do not understand.
Well, a couple of those issues are convoluted. And who wants to jump in and...
Well, I'd love to.
Please do.
Please do.
Please.
Well, on the bright side.
Because you all were hoping or wishing that he was here before. I really wish he was here now.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
I'm not going to begrudge Tory for voting for who he's going to vote for, because I know a whole bunch of people that's going to vote for Kamala, so Tory can vote for whoever he wants to vote for. And I
don't begrudge it either.
But so imagine this, though. If Tory gets his wish, I suppose, and Trump gets elected, boy, him and Ben Crump are going to have a lot of work. They're going to be very busy dealing with some of these cases with the police, because Trump has made it very clear that he thinks there's a war on the police, and he wants to make sure that they have their maintained qualified immunity. And Trump has made that abundantly clear. He even said that during his first term.
But do you understand what qualified immunity is?
I understand it to the point where... Well, let Shar finish. Shar, do you have anything else?
Yes, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, does he realize Trump thinks a person like him is the enemy?
But no, let's go back because you brought up qualified immunity. So let's stick with qualified immunity, not Trump. Okay.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Qualified immunity is what?
Police are not personally liable for their misconduct.
Not true.
They're
not true. That has nothing to do with liability. So qualified qualified, and it's not qualified liability, it's qualified immunity. What it means
Immunity,
is
right,
that if you're operating within your laws of your state and the laws of the federal government, and you do something and it's covered, they can't personally sue you if you make a mistake. Notice I didn't say break the law, I said a mistake. If you make a mistake,
and I hear you.
Well, no, you're interrupting me. When you make a mistake, that's what it is. So then they say, if you sue and the officer made a mistake and he was wrong, he or she was wrong, then the city, respondeat superior, says that the city now has to pay because you represent the city. That's all that is. Now, if you break the law, you become liable for everything. So go ahead.
But the problem is, when it comes to us, it's always a mistake.
Not true.
Reality,
not true. I've testified and put cops in jail, so I don't know what you're talking about. But are you true?
I'm just saying, in most cases,
We're both
I got
true.
this exception.
Sure.
Okay,
of course.
I'll say that. We're both true. But I'm telling you that Trump wants to continue with the. I'm not saying they ain't good policemen, but he wants them.
Sound like that's what you're saying.
Framed this as. Well, he's framed it as Democrats hate, and I'm not a registered Democrat or Republican, but he's framed it as, this is Democrats want the police ended or whatever. And the average person in the black community like me does not want that. But stop and frisk was very, very dangerous. It was very dangerous. In places like New York City, where I'm from, police were stopping every black person they saw on the street with no probable cause necessary. And then they would make up stuff once they got the person.
Correct. And that's why they ended it in New York.
Well, and he wants to bring it back.
All right. Well, thank you much, Sean.
One of his major points.
I appreciate it. Did we cover your other topics, other comments, or?
Yeah, you did. It's a good discussion you're having, and I'm glad that you're having this discussion.
All right.
And one thing, I'll leave with this. I'm gonna leave it at this. Y'all are very right to say more people need to vote in local elections. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you much. 833, did I get it right? 212-1017 is the number. Where are we going locally? So I'm going to jump a little bit. The county is, before we take a break, the county is $19 million short of what they thought they were going to get with their percentage increase for taxes, right? We haven't heard anything from the city. So if the county is short, I'm pretty sure the city is short too.
Way more.
Along with the inflation that we're pretending we don't have, and the recession that happened. So when you look at the definition of a recession, 2 quarters with negative GDP
That's not happened.
over a certain.
Not in a recession.
It happened in 2023. What are you talking about?
Recession.
January, February. See, he's just talking
Negative
crazy.
growth. We have not had a recession.
That's a lie.
All right.
That's a ball-faced lie.
I let anybody Google that. We have not been in a recession. In fact, we staved off a recession because of the actions.
You're on drugs. Stop it.
No, I'm on facts, which gets you way higher.
Negative.
Way higher.
I don't think so. What are you talking about? Clearly, you don't follow the economy, but okay.
The Trump campaign has not mentioned one time that Joe Biden put us into a recession at any point in time because they would not let that go.
I'm not talking about. What are you talking about? I'm not blaming anybody. I'm saying the United States of America was at a recession, and we pretended like it didn't happen. So technically, do you even know the definition of recession? When we come back, we'll ask
negative
him.
growth. We haven't
Negative
had
growth over 2 quarters. Okay. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm going to fight. Sherwin, we're going to fight when we get off the microphone.
And this ain't Truth in the Afternoon.
Okay.
The extension.
That's strike 2.
That's strike 2. I'm gone.
Strike 2.
I'm unplugging. Who's taking over? Sherwin, you going to take over?
Gladly.
Somebody needs to take over because he don't know his facts about the economy.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no. So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that catch-up.
Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You are listening to The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Truth on Politics on the new 1017 The Truth. 833-212-1017 is the number. Did I redeem myself now? Did I redeem myself?
So, yeah, let's see.
You're on TMJ that much that you actually know their phone number?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And by the way, the National Bureau of Economic Research stated that one common definition of recession, 2 consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic product happened in the first half of 2022.
I'll give you that.
But I'm just saying.
But we still were creating 400,000+ jobs. So jobs were being created.
Is that including the million, the 818 that disappeared?
Doc, let me get this out. So we still created jobs, and consumer spending remained strong. So
yes, it did.
The true definition of a recession is you're going to have more job cuts and layoffs than you have job growth, and then consumer spending is going to contract. I don't even know where folks are getting this money from, but people are spending like
I can
crazy.
tell you where to get it from.
That's staved off what would have been like a disastrous recession.
Credit cards and investments, 401ks and 403bs, taking out loans to help pay for stuff. Cars break down, and so you got to have a car to get to work, and so you take a loan on your investments, and then you got to pay back the loan, and you got to pay back the car, and eventually it's going to come to a head.
There is a lot of consumer debt, but the good news is the Fed has signaled, Jerome Powell said that it's now time to start cutting rates. Interest rates are outrageous.
Which he should have cut probably a quarter ago.
And a lot of that has been priced into the stock market already, because somebody's going to say, oh, the stock market is at 40,000. I got to argue with even some of my left-leaning friends. Well, under Joe Biden, retirement accounts doubled because the stock market went from 19,000 to 41,000.
No.
That's the Dow. That does not mean nothing. Because most of us,
your mutual fund didn't.
Correct. Most of us are not in the stock market.
Which is a whole other conversation we have.
But when interest rates begin to go down, you're going to start to see people refinancing their homes, getting lower mortgage rates, et cetera. It's going to be easier to borrow money and to lend money. Businesses are going to benefit from that, especially small businesses, because the cost to borrow money for their expansions is going to be less. And then Kamala Harris wants to provide $25,000 in grants to first-time home buyers. And so that is an incredible spur for the economy, because you buy a house, you go into Lowe's, you go into Home Depot, you buy carpets, you buy all those other things. And those are, tremendous for the consumer economy as well. I know we had a bit of a disagreement about Kamala Harris and her $25,000 first-time home buyer.
And there's only one reason why I'm against it, and so there needs to be a different mechanism to do that. Because what happens is, if you're selling a house, people are going to automatically, if they find out you're a new homeowner, jack it up $25,000 because they know you got it. So now my house that was $100,000 is now $125,000, and I've lost access to that money that I could use to go to Home Depot and fix up the house if it needs a new water heater. We can't do that. So if we're going to do that, use a different mechanism. Maybe after you buy the house, I give you $25,000, something like that. Just like we did Cash for Clunkers. Get it after the fact, and then they can't jack you for that money because because now, realtors can now make you pay up to 6% to sell you a house and buy a house. Now you got to both have to pay both. Usually when you were buying a house, you didn't pay as the person that sold it. Well, now for a person to show you a house, you got to sign a contract now that if you do, they want a percentage.
If somebody raises the price of their house, because houses are competitive.
Yeah.
And if they say, oh, this is the first-time home buyer, first of all, how in the hell would somebody even know if the person that's purchasing their house is the first-time home buyer? Because nobody would disclose that. But if you they're a first-time home buyer, assuming that you know that information, I'm going to jack up the price of my house $25,000. Ain't nobody going to buy it. Because you just basically priced yourself out of that particular buyer. So people can jack their prices up of their houses as much as they want. Somebody will just go buy a house that's less expensive.
But you're not going to, because now everybody's house is going to go up. So it's still going to do a reverse
and to
thing.
me, I think that's kind of some of the conversation that you have when you are buying a house, because someone will ask you, oh, is this your first time buying a home? Or whenever you go to get a loan, that's the first thing they're going to ask you.
Yeah,
and
that's
so,
true.
And that information
be hard to
could
hide.
be shared. But
It's all in the paperwork.
Yeah.
Like during the Obama administration, there've always been, and I missed it because I bought my house before they had any of these incentives, but Obama had something similar. I think it was like a $15,000 down payment. It's just like even some lenders might do that for first-time home buyers. So that's nothing new, and I don't think that has that much of an impact on housing prices. Housing prices are set by the market.
Well, it's not that anybody's against it. We just want to make sure that the person that's utilizing it is being utilized in a way that's beneficial for them.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
All. That's all.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, but then you still have these unscrupulous people.
Well, you get through it, you do it, you work it out, you work out different phases of how you can do it.
It's the federal government. Come on now.
Dr. Kidd, what I realize about Dr. Kidd, if anything comes up, he's going to look at the black market first and be like, wait a minute, so what's the counter to this?
Exactly.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. I want to know how we're going to get, are we going to win? Are we going to be able to get out of it what we need? Because these are the things we need. We need housing. Mm-hmm. We need investments. Mm-hmm. We need generational wealth. Yeah. All those. If you're going to do it, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
But I know you're talking about America, but we always know, right? When a certain group of people get the sniffles, right? We get the flu. So all these things that affect the black community or the white community in a little bitty, it hammers us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's real. Don't you remember when COVID first came out, and I think
black people were the reason
Tom
why
Hanks had it, and they were like, I don't think black people can get it. We were like, man, please. And then we all of a sudden just took over all the statistics.
Exactly.
Right? You're just like, wait a minute. I thought at first we couldn't even get it. Now it's
our fault.
We don't have to finish first in everything. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have to finish first in everything.
No.
And you're just like, golly.
A lot of anti-vaxxers that are black. Yeah. That's what I come to find out. I had no idea that there was so many of us that got vaccinated for shingles, measles, mumps, rubella, got tetanus, got all them vaccinations, but here comes the COVID vaccine. That's the one that's got the autism juice in it. I'm gonna get. If they wanted to give you autism, they'd have given it to you a long time ago.
And now, recently, they're coming out with all these studies about how the mask really didn't do anything, and now those anti-vaxxers are like, see, told y'all they was putting some stuff in there, but then give me that Ozempic shot.
Exactly.
Like there's going to be no long-term effects for that.
Yeah.
But,
you mean the long-term effects where they're now seeing people going to the hospital for
like stomach paralysis?
No. They're just overdosing on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that they have it; they just took too much.
They took too much.
Well, if I keep
it
doing
wasn't working fast enough. It wasn't working.
833-212-1017 is some talking text line. You gonna be in charge of the talking text line, Sherwin? No,
I didn't know that I was here, in charge of duties.
No, he's not in charge.
Sure,
of duties.
I'll talk text line.
Which is it, Sherwin? Drugs or facts? The doc is
alleging you're on.
Alleging you're on. Break it down for him after the break. I think you're speaking facts.
Stop trying to pit me against.
Of course,
Dr. Harris.
Of course.
Y'all leave him alone.
Somebody said,
oh gosh.
Marcus says, I didn't know racism stopped under Biden. Like, where did that even come from?
I don't know.
Racism ain't gonna stop under nobody.
Okay, it's not.
It's easy to hate black people.
I mean,
surprisingly easy.
Look,
sometimes I got to catch myself. I see us driving. I'm like, uh-oh.
I was teaching a class the other day, intro to law enforcement, and I said, if black people committed as much crime as they said we do, and we're only 13% of the population, we would not be here. By virtue of white people being 63% of the population, the FBI will tell you,
exactly,
white cops kill more white people to the point where I would be marching for them. I mean, white people get killed by cops.
A lot.
It is astronomical. You should be screaming.
Yeah.
But they're not.
White people don't care.
They don't care.
It's what did they do to get killed?
Right. Wait. You got arrested? What'd you do? Like what? So it's just one of those things. County, when we come back, I wanna dive into this $19 million. Well, I guess you can't call it a deficit because you don't actually have it. So this $19 million that you said you were going to raise, that you came up a little bit short. Who's the CFO? So we've been firing all these CFOs from the Wabato School District in Milwaukee, right? Mm-hmm. For counting up numbers that really didn't add up to anything. When are we going to get to the county? Because y'all said we was going to have money. So we voted and we commiserated with Robin Voss to give him all these ridiculous things for the county and the city. Mm-hmm. And now we're coming up short.
Ooh.
So when we come back, I'm going to Telly Hughes to ask, where can we get $19 million from? Because the county don't have it.
Look, I don't roll like that. Why are you turning on?
The TV personalities.
Emmy
Award winning.
Sell that Emmy on eBay.
Okay.
You're listening to The Truth on Politics.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 1017 The Truth.
There are individuals in our community who certainly need health services, a variety of health services. What if they do not have health insurance? How can you serve that population?
Our community health center allows patients to come to our clinic regardless of their ability to pay, and that's part of our federal funding. You can come to our clinic and be seen based on what we call a poverty level. So anyone 200% or below a poverty level can be seen in our clinic for anywhere from $20 to $40 for that visit. So in other words, if your visit is a $400 visit and you fall on our sliding scale where you pay $20 for your visit, you would not be responsible for the $400. You'd only be responsible for $20 for that visit. Also, our pharmacy prescriptions are very, very affordable as well. Where you would normally pay, let's say for an inhaler, $240 a month for an inhaler, at our facility that would cost you about $4 or $5.
It's very good to know you guys have a sliding scale that makes it very, very affordable.
You hit the library, hard, and keep your eyes on the prize. Also, one day you can earn that bachelor's. Finishing what you start where you want, that's worth working for. And here is how you get there. Here at MATC, where smart programs prep you for next-level challenges. Earning your bachelor's can start right away, and graduation is just the beginning. Here's to an education that takes you farther. Here's how you get there. Here at matc.edu/get there.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to The Truth on Politics. Sherwin Hughes, Bailey Coleman, and Telly Hughes is here with me. I'm your moderator. Basically, I got to put up a wall there between all the fights and stuff like that. Hey, remind you to tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth this Saturday, 10 a.m. for another episode of Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Sherwin Hughes will be speaking with Dr. Mubanga from Outreach Community Health Centers about the importance of immunizations. Just talking about that. Say what?
We're talking about vaccines on
Vaccines
Saturday.
And define inoculations versus immunizations, and your overall health. It's not just a show, it's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. So don't miss Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers, this Saturday, 10 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth Milwaukee Black Talk with your host, the effervescent Sherwin Hughes.
Oh, that's nice of you.
All right.
They got me working on Saturdays, Doc.
Yeah, well, it's about time.
No, it's not.
About time everybody be doing it.
Part-time.
833-212-1017 is the number. Bailey, as a parent of a student, do you consider the billions of dollars that Biden Harris have provided for HBCUs an answer to the question, what have Democrats done specifically for black people? I say no. Wish Tori was there to respond. Every year, everybody has given money to the HBCUs.
Yes.
And I think... And so what happens is the trick Donald Trump did is he let it lapse so that he could give more money, so he could be able to say he gave more money, that he gave the most money. And he did. He gave the most money to HBCUs and locked it in than any other president. The problem was every other president didn't let it end first. You let it end, and they panicked, and they had to come to the White House to see you, to kiss your ring, and all that nonsense. Mm-hmm. But I think we do need to find a better mechanism for our HBCUs. Or we just need to step up and pay. We just need to.
Right.
Yeah, I think we have the resources. Again, like Sherwin says, we have everything we need to go and do everything we need to do. It seems like we just need for someone else to give us permission to do it. and because I was just thinking,
say how you really feel.
You know, I'm serious. Like, and the thing is, I was just thinking about when Deion Sanders was the head coach at Jackson State University,
right?
And all the money that it was bringing in, like homecoming, you had Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, all these people on the sideline coming to little old Jackson, Mississippi, right?
Right.
Okay. How about these same entertainers go and have benefit concerts during homecoming? Go to Alcorn State. Go to Mississippi Valley State.
Yep.
Go to these different HBCUs.
Not just Hampton.
And just do one benefit.
Right.
Like, why does it take Deion Sanders to get you to come there just so you could be seen on the sideline supporting Jackson State?
Right.
Now, when he left, you haven't
You ain't
seen
been back.
anybody yet. Correct.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, we have the resources, we have the thing, but it seems like we need someone to give us the okay to do it.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
So that's my piece on that.
And I don't look at it like, oh, they're doing this for us. Like that's the thing that they're doing for black people, because only certain people are going to benefit. My son didn't go to an HBCU.
Okay.
So what about all the other kids that,
we don't really
don't
care.
go?
We don't really care about
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. So that's why I don't look at it as something that they've done for the culture of African Americans, because there's a lot of our people that are educated in other regular, facilities.
And not a lot of us attend HBCUs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So at some point,
right,
can we spread that money around so we can go to school in Milwaukee?
Hello.
Maybe keep Cardinal Stretch open. Maybe
spread some love.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Cardinal Stretch was private.
Yes.
Federal government does give money to all sorts of colleges and universities, public universities. Part of the things that they do with HBCUs, I think that they were struggling particularly, so maybe that's why. And here's the thing, I don't even know how to compare, so I don't know what UW-Madison, Oshkosh, La Crosse, Illinois State, I don't know what their allocations were from the federal government. I know that all public universities get some resources from taxpayers, approved by Congress, of course.
Yeah, they didn't get $800 million to cut DEI programs like they did in Wisconsin, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was a problem. That's what you get when you have a Republican-controlled legislature that thinks that DEI is the bane of their existence. And if UW-Madison needs more money, because obviously the cost of everything is going up, including education, And UW Madison was like, yeah, we need another $300 or $400 million to maintain services or to add new services. The Republican legislators like, okay, cool, we'll give it to you. Cut all your DEI positions. Because now here's the thing, affirmative action is now illegal, and that was something that was an outgrowth of the Trump administration. So you don't need DEI anymore because you blacks can get in on merit.
Yeah, but you mentioned that it has a lot to do with the GOP, having control, and where are most HBCUs?
In the South.
In the South, in red states.
In red states. Right. And so there's really a component there where you can't just get that money into those HBCUs because on a priority list, if there's 50, that's the 51st concern that they have, getting HBCUs and keeping those historically black colleges and universities going.
But the money's already locked in. The issue is how do we expand them so if our children decide to go to school there? One of the complaints you always get is the buildings are too old and there's not a lot of air conditioning, right? And all those things, because they want the creature comforts of today. Well, many of those schools, like if you look at the AU, right, in Atlanta, those are great schools, but they're landlocked. Like they can't build. There's nowhere to build. Unless we take out the parking lots and build new dorms, there's nowhere to go. And so how do we either take those, I hate to say it, second-tier HBCUs and build them up? Howard is landlocked.
You could renovate them, and I mean, my niece goes to Georgia Tech, and I was just there during last spring break, and let me tell you, there is so much construction on that campus, and that campus is not that big, but it's beautiful. And I just believe that if you have the money to do it, you can renovate anything and make it, not brand new again,
but livable.
Yeah, and then a lot of those colleges have a lot of land, so they have room to build. And an endowment. Because you look at Mississippi Valley State. Where is that? In Itna, Mississippi?
Itabena.
There's what else is around there?
Nothing.
Okay, exactly.
Well, that's
so
not true.
Walmart, but you can build up and around, so that shouldn't be a concern. I mean, if you haven't built a new dorm in 50 years, it might be time to build a new dorm.
That is true. That is true.
I got the answer.
Yes, sir.
Black boosters, where are they at? But there's a lot of black folks in this country that went to HBCUs, are very proud of it.
Yes.
They make a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
They aren't given the money that they should. Go right on down the street to Marquette and look how many of these damn buildings is named after people that gave money. I want the library named after me. Here's $20 million. Sheldon Lubar, he's got a whole bunch of stuff named after him at UW Milwaukee. So black boosters that are very proud of their HBCU education, and a lot of them got a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Good call.
Give a couple $1 million, Tyler Perry. I'm sure Tyler Perry is giving money to everybody. And other black boosters they can give. Because I know
Oprah.
Oprah. Y'all tapping Oprah out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oprah. We make it seem like it's only 4 rich people.
Hey, Diddy money ain't no good to nobody no more.
Look, they giving Diddy money back.
They be like, look,
hey, Diddy, here's your money.
Giving Diddy money back.
You know what?
No Diddy.
Hey, Jackson State was like, what money? Howard, they got so much money. Here, we don't want your money. And give us our honorary degree back. But man, Jackson State was like, look, we need that money.
And we keeping it.
And we
got to talk about the $19 million account.
Yes.
Black people in black schools.
We got like a minute and a half.
All right.
But we also got the 7 o'clock count.
Mine will be really quick. I know Sherwin can go more in depth than I can about this, but the county coming up $19 million short. My first question is, you did a tax hike at the beginning of the year.
Correct.
When is that kicked in? It is already kicked in every time we go to the register.
Yes.
But why hasn't that kicked in to help fill this $19 million
because
deficit?
I thought people were going to spend more money, and they didn't.
Bingo. If we got lied to about the RNC, and we got to talk about that during the 7 o'clock hour. There's supposed to be a $200 million economic impact right here in Milwaukee. Now they're saying, well, it's $200 million region-wide, like Door County, Sheboygan, Manitowoc.
And so I got the wall up, I got the fence up. I can see where I want to go eat. But I got to walk a quarter mile that way, and then a quarter mile back to get to the place to eat. So they had no access.
And go through
it was
security.
Just the weirdest thing. When I saw the access, I said, why didn't they put the wall on the other side of the avenue And then all the food would have been inside. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
Made no sense at all. I looked around and went, ain't nobody making no money. If you inside, you making money.
I'm laughing because, yes, they made that sound so attractive, like $200 million into the city. And now when you come back and ask, you'll be like, well, they start talking about rebates and everything else. We're like, well, not really. And technically, it wasn't 200. And you'd be like, okay, now
that was an
it's
estimate.
funny.
It was an estimate.
Yeah, stop.
So. You're listening. You're listening to. What are we listening to? I don't know.
Truth on Politics.
Truth on I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, you can't kid about anything. Like he has more hair than me or something. Bailey Coleman. Hey, I got to get him when I can. Bailey Coleman, Sherwin Hughes, and Telly Hughes. Well, I didn't do that. We got some phone calls coming in. We got all sorts of things going on. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit us at 833-212-1017 is the number.
1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
Coming with straight truth.
Man, I don't think it's about training. They can detain and subdue white people just fine.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's when it's black men in particular that they feel that it's going to be a punitive measure. Negro, we're going to put you in your place.
Come on.
And that happens far too often in America, whether it's George Floyd and now Devontae Mitchell. The hell with training. This is about bias.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. The election season is upon us, and now is the time to have real, in-depth conversations about who can make impactful change for the Black community. Join us now as we engage in a thoughtful discussion which will explore the challenges and opportunities facing our community and nation. This is The Truth on Politics on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at The Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here are your hosts, Dr. Ken Harris, Sherwin Hughes, Telly Hughes, Tori Lowe, and Bailey Coleman.
And we are back to the, can we say the Tori Lowless? Truth in politics?
Tori Lowless.
Powerless.
833-212-1017 is the number. Bob from Illinois, you're on the award-winning 1017, The Truth on Politics.
Oh, hello, gentlemen and gentle ladies.
Oh.
Good evening. What I want to say, to me, the station is reparations. Why do I feel that way? Well, you are everywhere. And that's okay. And there's no repercussion. And that's okay. I like to hear how people feel. Why there's no repercussions makes me feel that you're a small part of reparations. And let me explain it a little further, if you don't mind.
Explain it a lot further.
Number one, it's three reasons. Number one, the Democrats and Republicans are the same. This is just my opinion. They're not the same. Number two, anyone that will vote for Trump, to me, when it comes to politics, they're in elementary school. Anything else, they're not. But when it comes to politics, I don't care what reason you have for voting for Trump. And number three, sometimes I feel like I'm listening to Fox News, and I can only listen to that for a minute when you come on Democrats like you do. Not everybody, but some people, and that's it. And I'll get off the air with it. I really appreciate you allowing me to say my little piece. Talk to you later.
All right. Thank you much, Bob.
All right, go ahead, Bailey.
Bailey? Go ahead.
You be jumping down on them Democrats. Jumping down on them.
I do not jump down on Democrats.
I jump down on Democrats because I want them to do better. Because I want them to do better.
See?
I want more.
See?
Okay.
He was talking about you. He wasn't talking about me.
You know he wasn't talking about me, and you know he wasn't talking about me, so don't even skip past
Yes, he would. Look,
I don't know what he was talking. He said Fox News. I don't know.
See, I don't know what the
no
Fox
repercussions for the reparations. And my fourth point. We love you, Bob. We love you.
Bob, we love you.
833-212-1017 I know the number. The town. You said you got some questions. What's going on?
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
What's up?
Hello.
How you doing? First, talking about the general election, I feel like that for the first time in a long time, that the did a real smooth and shrewd move because they had Biden weighing as an albatross. They weren't going to win with him. They needed some fresh energy and somebody that's going to spark the base up. And I like how they did that by giving it to Kamala, Miss Harris, and bypassing the I would say the voting process, but not in that way. I don't mean it that way. Like they picked her because if it was if they was like, okay, we don't want to deal with you, Biden, and it was earlier on before the debate, then you would have a whole bunch of other parties saying like, hey, hold on, I want to run for president. I want to run for president. I want to run for president. When in reality, y'all didn't have no time for that. So I think they did the slickest move because, and too, all the other people, all the other people besides Harris, Trump could, get some punches in on them.
So the town, you said you had some questions. What questions do you have?
I'm saying is, what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that move installing Miss Harris up in there?
Okay.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm waiting on y'all to answer it.
She wasn't installed. She was the vice president of the United States, and people voted for her. She's the vice president. There was not going to be any other Democratic nominee. You're not going around or going through Kamala Harris. In the event that the president is incapacitated, if he dies, or if he does not run again, his vice president that he picked intentionally so that she could be his heir apparent is going to be the Democratic nominee.
But Sherwin, you know they skipped around it, and you know it should have been an open convention. What you talking about?
You're not going to go around the vice.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
The black woman, when the core of the Democratic Party is black women, there was no other. I said this. So when that debate happened, and I watched all the liberal commentators panic.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
And I knew at that point that Kamala was on deck.
But that's why she's there. Like, why did people panic? I don't understand. Like, that's why she's the vice, correct?
But people still wanted to stick by Joe Biden until the polls came out, and it was just there was no way that he was going to beat Donald Trump. He was already like in bad shape, kind of underwater with Trump. That debate sank him, and then people said, "How are we going to do this but still remain unified?" And then people just got a moment of clarity. Okay, Kamala Harris, let's see how she's going to fare.
Yeah.
Her campaign, not only did it take off front, she's raised $500 million in a month. The convention was flawless, one of the best compared to the Republican convention.
Oh, yeah.
The excitement, the energy, but the most important thing, the joy.
Yeah.
She is bringing, and people say, oh, well, she doesn't have any policy. The joy and the happiness and the optimism that she is bringing, because Trump just has everybody under a dark cloud. Oh, the migrants are coming and everything's terrible and the economy is awful and everybody's going to kill you. Kamala's like, no, we're going to bring life back. We're going to love one another. We're going to give people freedom. We're going to give women a right to choose. We are going to bring back optimism to the United States.
But I still need some policy. I still need to know what you're going to do.
Campaign's only a month, though.
I don't care. I don't care.
All right.
I still need to know,
but
once you get, because by the time we get to November 6th, the day after, it's too late.
Let me push back on that a little bit, because you may know, but what are the consequences of them not following through on these things that they're running on?
Have they ever followed through on the things?
Right. So why is it so important for you to know?
Because
you want to know what they're going to end up lying about?
Because I want her to be successful. That's all.
Oh, okay.
And you and I both know that the count for us is different for the count for everybody else.
Absolutely.
So why is it bad to ask somebody for information?
I didn't say it was bad.
Well, you said you were pushing back.
No, I was just, just to kind of just play devil's advocate, not to say that I feel like she should get any passes or it should be any different for her, but I'm just asking because we hear a lot of things. I mean, Trump ran on building this wall and Mexico is going to pay for it.
Which ain't a policy either.
Wait, exactly. That's what I was going to say. My thing is it's almost a double standard, right? Because it doesn't matter who the Democratic nominee is. Trump never, unless Project 2025 was the policy. Was that his new policy?
It wasn't even written then, but yeah, it wasn't written. But
well, I'm just talking about now because everybody's asking for policy from Kamala, and no one is saying that for Trump. They're just like,
but I need something to sell other than happiness.
Okay,
that's all.
Protecting a woman's right to choose $25,000 for first-time home buyers.
Well, I'm not pro-abortion, so
here's the thing: her policies aren't because she's still a part of the Biden-Harris administration. She's not going to veer too much away from what actually has been successful under the Biden administration.
Right, you can't do that.
She's going to go against price gouging. And here's the thing: she can have a whole wish list, and I want to, add this to. She's going to lie about stuff, even if she does give us policy initiatives. There's probably a lot of things that I'm sure she wants to do where she believes this is the direction she wants the country to go in, but there's this thing that we forget. We, like you, Dr. Ken, I want her to be successful, but there's this thing called the Republican Party that is not, you know what? Boy, let's work with that Kamala Harris and make sure that her policies get enacted. The Republican Party is going to oppose everything because they are not going to work with the Democrats to make Democrats look successful. And so she may come up with a bunch of ideas that Americans believe they will vote for her. She will win. The Republican Party, I can see them saying, you're going to be a one-term president too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your call, the town.
They said that to President Obama too.
And it got played because he won. He had that pushback.
Boom, exactly.
Somebody said, I have no more campaigns to run. And that one Republican said, yay. He said, because I won both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They tried, didn't they?
They tried it.
Norm, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, what's up, beautiful people, wonderful people? Y'all doing really good, man. We need this in our community, man. Nice job, whoever came up with this. This is really nice.
Thank you.
Man, this is really nice.
We can thank you on behalf of Kyle.
Nice job. And Kamala, man, she does educated, man. Education to rule the whole United States. Come on, man. You can't just be baffling and just saying anything. Hey, but, man, wonderful job, man. Y'all keep up the good work. Peace.
Norm is always very short and sweet.
Oh,
all right, appreciate it.
There you go, Norm.
833-212-1017 is the number. Let me check this talking text line. President and dictator. Good doc. A person who says he will be a dictator and not leave until he dies is twisted enough to pass legislation to weaken or eliminate state and local government. That's not going to happen. Come on. That would take a move of a constitutional convention, and I don't think 3/4 of the states are going to go for that. That's just me.
That's what you think?
You really?
3/4 of the states to change the Constitution?
Really?
No. Think about what you're saying.
It's a very unusual Supreme Court, and the federal bench is doing very unusual things right now. I can't put anything past them. They've already been successful in taking away a very fundamental right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
there's
no limits how far.
Let me hush. I'm gonna hush and go move forward because I almost said something. So
say.
Oh, come on, y'all.
Truth
on fire. You get on the radio to not say something.
Oh, trust me, I can't say this.
Come on.
We got an FCC license.
Oh, okay.
Winky Blue, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You're here for Sherwin, White. Right?
Hey, good afternoon to the whole panel.
What's up?
No, I ain't here for Sherwin. Hey, listen, you guys were asking about all the money that we could find that money. Well, to be totally honest with you, if we had a vice president or a president that didn't allocate funds to the Asian community to the tune of $17 billion, and then another in 2024, just the beginning of the year here, another six, maybe 4 to 6. I got to be accurate on that. 4 to 6 billion. I'm safe right there saying 4 to 6, making that $20-something billion to the Asian community for contracts, which is really hurting black folk. That's into a lot of contracting businesses, and not only that, the small businesses. We can't get that help. But I remember her saying that no, I'm not going to do anything specifically for blacks, but she allocated that money to the Asian district, and that's, if we got some of that money back, it would solve some of the black problems that we're dealing with. So when I hear people talking and not fact checking, it bothers me, because what in the world is about to transpire if this lady is elected for real? She's already shown that she's not at all dedicated, and I'm saying dedicated, definitely not committed, because the party that we've all been a part of has showed no loyalty to the commitment that we've had. We've been committed, and we've got nothing for our commitment.
Means you're a Republican. What do you mean the party that we're all a part of?
Okay, you know something, brother? You always say brother. Can I say this to you?
Republican. Like, I'm not trying to out you. Like, if you're a Republican, which the whole
no. That's what you do. That's your defense. Brother, that's your defense to grab allies. Hold on, young Kevin. Hey, young player. That's your defense to grab allies that they don't listen. You use the word Republican right away. You throw that up. But I've helped probably more Democrats than you have. If I felt that they were the proper person to be in that position.
Okay, we're not going to sit and argue whose is bigger than whose. So come on. Okay, well, I
tell you what, Dr. Ken, that's not why I called. I called because you guys asked the question, where can we get some of that money from? If we could go to Congress, get some of that. Well, actually, I think that might have been that had to go through Congress as a the way that money was done. Well, we can use Sherwin for this one. Sherwin, the way that money was distributed out to the Asian community, did they have to go through a Congress deal, or was that an executive order that kind of bypassed everything? How did that work?
So Congress got to approve all spending, all appropriations, all
Thank
of
you.
it. And the vice president doesn't allocate money.
No, I already know that. I just want him to say how they got it done.
All right. Thank you much. Appreciate it, Winky
Republicans
Blue.
in Congress, here, I don't even know what the Asians got.
I try to explain that to people, but people don't seem to understand. Money goes through Congress. We have a Ways and Means Committee. That's where all the money starts. But for some reason, people think people can just pull money out and give it. And you can't.
Okay.
And so this whole, they gave money to, no, they didn't. Congress had to approve that. So whether it's a Democratic Congress and if it don't make it through the Senate and get signed, it ain't going nowhere.
Exactly.
So when people tell you, I'm going to give you money for, you might want to look. So if it's all Republican and a Republican tell you that, maybe. If it's all Democrat and Democrats tell you that, maybe. But I've seen where it was all Republican and all Democrat and they said it's going to give you money and they didn't.
There you go.
So at some point,
they'll sneak money. So let's say there's I'm gonna use this as an easy example, like an infrastructure bill where
you can't use an appropriation bill and
hold on,
put that little money.
The process how it goes. Let's say there's an infrastructure bill. They want to repair a bunch of roads and bridges all over the country. They can sneak in. Oh, we're going to put in $3 billion for higher education, for MPS, for public education, and for grants for technical contractors that are Asian race specific. Like they can do that.
And we're going to build a park
and a smaller bill
in downtown Milwaukee, and it's going to cost $18 million. Didn't nobody say anything or didn't want it, but because, Telly's a friend of mine, we can throw it in. And that's all this stuff around the country gets built.
Yeah.
And
Another one of her policies is she wants to increase the amount of housing supply in the country to bring down the price of housing. Now, she can't do that, but what she can do is say, okay, if developers in the city of Milwaukee want to build more housing, more affordable housing, which I know is a loaded term, Kamala can say, okay, we will put together an infrastructure bill that will help you build up downtown more, will expand your light rail, will give you more resources that you can invest in, like building schools through the Department of Education. So she can suggest we need more housing. Only cities can allocate that money and states can allocate that money to build houses, to work with developers. But then the federal government can say, okay, we're going to help you build your infrastructure for the houses and invest in schools.
Yeah, but I think that can be combated sometime when you have these taxes. And I mean, it's way more expensive to live in Milwaukee now. And I think that it is going to take a bill of that nature to stop gentrification, because you really do have a lot of people that are moving more downtown. They're building up. I mean, these high rises that's costing $3,800 a month to live
it's
in
only $3,800
for one bedroom. Do you think
that's a studio, by the way?
That is going
That's a studio. That's not a one bedroom.
Yeah. And so, I mean, who are the people that's going to be affording that?
Right.
And so that's going to force people more away from the city. So you are going to need bills like that in order for people that are right around the poverty rate to continue to live in the city of Milwaukee.
Can we get the city just to help the people that live here and stop spending so much money on downtown at some point?
That's,
I mean, for instance, let me give an example.
Okay.
Love the company, Northwestern Mutual. Mm-hmm. You left Franklin and you came back to the city.
Mm-hmm.
If I was the mayor, I'd say, hey, that's great. We love it. However, if we're going to give you that much money to help build your sidewalks out over the next 10 years or whatever, here's what we need you to do. That office y'all build it? Yeah. Can y'all build it on the north side?
Mm-hmm.
Can you put it where people can walk to work?
Yeah.
And get jobs?
There you go.
But we keep building everything down. Now we're trying to tear down 794.
Mm-hmm.
What is the political ramification of tearing down 794 to build more high rises?
The home bridge is ugly and it needs to go. There's a lot of land that's underneath the home. No, seriously. There's a lot of land underneath the home bridge.
There is.
That can't be developed. And it's stupid. It's a stupid yellow metal. I don't like it. But that's just what
y'all don't want. You from here? Y'all don't want to build it.
It's a great way to. That's a great view of the city when you coming in, though.
You can go
It's true.
look at the city.
Is that before or after some of the tiles fall out and you got to drive around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
It's way beyond its time.
Yeah.
It's so far beyond its time. I see tearing it down, but now to build more high rises and section it off for green space when you know we're not going to be moving there.
Right.
Exactly.
That doesn't do anything for the city. And so let's say we get all these businesses and they build up all this money. The politicians here in Milwaukee are not spending that money on the north side. You know what they gave us? A youth center.
Yeah. Well.
So if you lock your kids up, like they actually said this, and my head almost exploded. We're going to build on the north side of Milwaukee so they'll be closer to home. What?
Right.
So what? Black kids the only ones that commit crimes in Milwaukee? It's just a weird, And so when we talk about voting locally, what are we going to do this fall? Like, what's the next big election other than, I know we got the state senate and the assembly and all that. What's the next big race we need to pay attention to?
DPI superintendent, spring of 2025, a bunch of school board elections.
Yeah.
A quick thing on the school board recalls, which failed miserably. All they had to do was literally wait 4 months, and all the school board members they tried to recall are up for re-election. Yep. All they had to do was just wait.
Yep. That's a waste of time, energy, and you could have spent that same energy to run new people.
Yeah.
Except I'm of the belief that we should get rid of the entire school board.
I'm with you on that.
Even though we had some people that were, they did well. Yeah, they did well. But the problem was when they should have spoken up when all this was going on, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Let the mayor be in charge of the school board or at least appointing people. So if we don't like the performance of MPS or the performance of the budgets the board creates, you can get a new mayor.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all heard that, right? 833-212-1017 is the number. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 1017 The Truth.
So we do have a drug take-back box at Outreach Community Health Centers. So if people have medications at their home that they want to get rid of, they could bring it to our pharmacy and we'll dispose of it for them. Anything that's not being used, anything that's kind of out of date, even antibiotics, any other medications, definitely it's better to safely dispose of it, and definitely don't flush it down the toilet because that puts it back into our drinking water supply. So
why is that a bad thing, Annie? Why do we not want to flush our medication?
Yeah, so it contaminates our drinking water. It contaminates our waterways, so our rivers and lakes don't benefit from all of those medications entering into the water supply. And we don't also enter. We have great drinking water in the city of Milwaukee, but they can only filter out so many of the pharmaceuticals. So as much as we can to reduce the pharmaceutical supply in our drinking water, we'll all be better off.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Sometimes life's challenges leave you feeling alone. We all need someone who understands and listens without judgment. That's what the 988 Wisconsin Lifeline is for. 988 is free and confidential. Trained counselors are ready to listen and provide support 24/7 for mental health and substance use concerns. You can contact 988 for yourself or for someone you know. Don't wait. Call or text 988 or chat online at 988wisconsin.org. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Attention Milwaukee County residents. Are you prepared for the unexpected? From sudden storms to unforeseen emergencies, readiness is key. Take charge of your safety with a family emergency plan and an essential emergency kit. Stay informed and connected during emergencies. For tips and resources, visit us online or contact the Milwaukee County Office of Emergency Management. Prepare now, stay safe, and build a resilient community together. Because readiness starts with you.
You are listening to The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
I'm Dr. Ken Harris. I'm here with Sherwin Hughes, Telly Hughes, Bailey Coleman. Truth on Politics. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth on Politics.
Well, first thing I want to say, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing, but I heard you talk about giving the inner city stuff. I wanted you to also know a lot of those houses, those new houses they're building in the inner city, they're building them with number 2 pine, which is the cheapest part of the wood with all the knots. Also, in certain parts of the city, like Lindsay Heights, like Titonia and Galena, they want like $360,000 to build you a brand new house, which is right down the street from low income. And if you go down to Titonia, and I think that's Titonia and Valete, from Titonia and Valete all the way to 24th and Valete, that's going to be a whole strip of low income. You know, and I still don't understand why that's the only thing they can give us. And then when you look at some of the new houses they build downtown, it's nothing but pressed particle board. And then they charging you all these uptown prices with an open concept. So I think it's a motive behind that. And then with the gentrification on the north side, some of the gentrification on the north side is coming with non-black prostitutes that's going all up and down Atkinson and Keith with no shoes on and bras and panty sets. And I think that's detrimental to the north side. You know, I mean,
I don't think so.
If you're going to if you're going to gentrify, don't put the worst over here. Wherever it came from, like on Greenfield, Washington, Maple, keep that over there. But you're going to bring it over here. It's not doing nothing for the north side.
We need better prostitutes.
Like on MLK.
Better looking. When Zach said he hopes the bra and panty sets match.
Y'all are out of control.
And then if you look at over there by 5th District and they throwing up all that low income, but you're not putting none of it into the community. So what does that say about the inner city? So when they come downtown, it's beautiful, it's flourish, but then when you come to the inner city, it's like you're trying to segregate the blacks. But then when they ask you what you're going to do for the inner city, you're quiet as a church mouse. But I just wanted to share that with you great individuals, and great show, by the way.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Al.
Sherwin?
Yeah. All right, so
because you had the first outburst.
Yeah, I did. So there's a lot of them. So there's an apartment complex. It's like it's where the old Pabst Brewery was, like 10th and Winnebago. It's an apartment building. And so in that apartment building, because these developers get tax credits if they allow a certain number of those units. Let's say it's 100 units in the building, and they allow 30 units to be low income. So everybody else is paying $2,200 a month, but then there's a designated number of those units that are like Section 8 or Section 42 approved. So people are only paying 30% of their income to live in the same, it's downtown now, to live in the same building as people that are paying $2,200 a month. So a friend of mine actually some years ago signed a lease at this brand new building. He was paying $2,200 a month for a 1-bedroom, beautiful apartment. In his building are people that are paying $300 a month. Now he's paying $22. And so what Mayor Barrett says, like, oh, we have to integrate downtown because this is a bunch of white people that can afford $2,200 a month. We want people who have lower incomes so we can integrate downtown.
Which mayor?
This was Tom Barrett.
Okay.
Complete disaster, because I need you to think about it. And my friend is black. An African-American person that works hard, has got a great education, 6-figure income, paying $2,200 a month for his apartment, living in the same building and sharing the same common space with someone who was paying a third of their income, like $300 or $400 a month sometimes. The cultural mismatch was a complete disaster. The police were there all of the time because even black folks don't like some black folks that don't have respect for somebody else paying $2,200 a month because they're getting Section 8. And Tom Barrett's like, oh, it'll be good for the city because it'll integrate people. We make it seem like integration is a natural fit. People, like culturally and economically, if you don't agree with somebody or have the same like cultural background as them or, education background, people do not get along.
So how do we watch politicians so that this doesn't happen, or that it happens in a way that's monumentally positive for us?
I think that integration has to be African Americans who maybe grew up in the city, grew up on the north side.
Why y'all always push that?
Go buy a house in the suburbs.
I'm not from the city, so I got to go move to the suburbs?
That's real integration, if you ask me. Because white folks have always been in the city, have always come and go from the city, and they're coming back. We don't have high enough numbers in Greendale, Greenfield, even though several producers live in those southern.
But as soon as they move out, they're going to figure out a way to make it too expensive to come back. That's what gentrification is.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. We ran into it in Chicago because they just built up the neighborhood and it became too expensive. And all those people that owned all the property that lived in the suburbs said, I'm either selling it because they done already sent their kids to college, right, off your rent money, or they simply moved back.
Yeah.
Segregation is not even really racial anymore. It's economic.
It's a caste system. It's economic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rich people don't want to live next to poor people. Now, the problem is where rich people live, whatever you define as a rich area, better schools, better parks, better roads, better services, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But rich people and poor people, they don't get along fundamentally.
Why you think the mayor of Menominee Falls wasn't trying that little integration thing that Tom Barrett was?
So that's the problem.
So when we come back, I want to ask about, I don't know if I should say this. I want to ask about how we make sure when we elect people that money doesn't drive their election and cause people like mayors, county supervisors, governors to dismiss certain groups of people because they didn't pay the money.
Now he's asking us impossible questions, baby.
I know.
And I'm sure somebody in this group is going to give a very specific answer. You're listening to The Truth on Politics.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Coming with straight truth.
Contrary to popular belief and contrary to suburban idiocy, crime is nowhere near what they say on TV.
You calling me an idiot?
I didn't call you an idiot. I said some of the people that live in suburbs that are white that think about crime in the city as if it happens every day, people are getting slaughtered and killed, is grossly inaccurate. But you don't know because you're not here. You don't live here.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Coming with straight truth.
Man, I don't think it's about training. They can detain and subdue white people just fine.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's when it's black men in particular that they feel that it's going to be a punitive measure. Negro, we're going to put you in your place.
Come on.
And that happens far too often in America, whether it's George Floyd and now Devontae Mitchell. The hell with training. This is about bias.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. More of The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
You are listening to Truth on Politics. This is Sherwin Hughes. You can find me Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until noon here on 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris, Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. You can hear that from 4 until 6 p.m. Bailey is here sometimes, but I want her to be here a lot more. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then Telly Hughes, so you can hear DT and Telly. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Monday through Friday here on 1017 The Truth.
And what you doing Friday?
Oh, Beyond the Mic. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got a thing to do. Hey, Truth Nation. Our Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer series has been a hit this summer. As summer comes to a close, we want to celebrate with you. Join our Truth team for Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes Friday, August 30th. This Friday from 5 until 7 p.m. at Mr. B's Lounge, located at 8617 West Brown Deer Road. There's going to be delicious cocktails, incredible food, great conversations. We're going to give away some stays to the Chula Vista Resort in the Dells, and so much more. Can't wait to see you this Friday from 5 until 7 p.m. at Mr. B's Lounge in Milwaukee. This might be the last Beyond the Mic ever in the history of the world.
Why?
Oh, why? Why?
Because it just, all good things got to come to an end now.
But there's just one season, one summer.
Okay,
It's
so
like
that means
Oz,
that,
like when Oz came to an end.
Y'all ain't, Telly, you only been on.
I've had legit reasons.
I even broadcast live from one.
I haven't had the chance to join.
Excuses.
So this means I have to come to this one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Mr. B's isn't far from my house, so I think I could probably make that one.
Yeah. So you can represent me as well. Unfortunately, no. I start my second gig. I mean, you guys know I moonlight as a reporter for the Big Ten Network, and my first game is this Saturday, and I'm flying out on Friday.
All right.
So
okay.
That's why.
Yeah, I won't be there
we'll
either. Sherwin, sorry.
Okay.
We'll let you.
I got the DJ.
Well,
what is it now?
Well,
yes, she's going to show up.
Well, there's other stuff we can do because the street team got stuff going on.
Yes, we got something else you may be able to hit. This would be better for your short-term memory, Bailey. The 101.7 The Truth Street Team, sponsored by UW Credit Union, is coming to an event near you. Join the Truth this Wednesday. That's tomorrow night, around the same time.
That way she only got 24 hours.
Right. We ain't got time to forget. Join the Truth this Wednesday, tomorrow night, from 5 to 8 at Washington Park. For Washington Park Wednesdays, there's food, games, and plenty of entertainment for everyone to enjoy. The 101.7 The Truth Street Team is sponsored by UW Credit Union. They are here for every you.
No, Mr. B's by my house, so now.
Bailey was like, what is it now?
If I got to drive longer than 5 minutes, I don't think I'm going.
Beyond the Mic is where Truth hosts and producers get together with our wonderful listeners, and we support a different African-American owned lounge or a restaurant every month. So it gets our folks together. We get to mix and mingle with them in a relaxed setting, and we support a black-owned business. Because a lot of my listeners were like, Sherwin, we want to go out and do stuff, but we don't know where to go in the city. And we want to support black.
And that's a great concept.
That is a great concept.
Yeah, see, I think I just peaked. I came to the first one. I met Al. I'm like, look, it ain't going to get no better than
There's
this.
a line of people to meet Al. There was a line.
I saw y'all took a picture of that.
I said, it ain't going to get it. Like, how do you top that?
The mayor was there. The county executive was at my first Beyond the Mic.
There you go.
And then I realized at future Beyond the Mics, people were like, we don't want politicians here. This is us kicking.
So how did you uninvite them?
You just didn't tell them.
We got Beyond the Mic.
We just didn't tell
David Crowley, Cavalier, don't show up.
Trust me, it's not hard. It's not hard to uninvite. Because if they know that they're not wanted, because they'll get ambushed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
833-212-1017 is the number. The caller. You're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth on Politics.
There you go.
Well, I'm just ecstatic about this wonderful family reunion you guys are having. I want to thank each and every one of you for providing very informative content and speaking your truth, what you believe. And I believe that most of you guys on the station want the same thing and basic good things for black people in our community. So I salute each and every one of you guys, and I'm glad you're on the air. Hope it stays like that way for a long time. I like that you guys have differences that we can discuss and laugh while we're doing it, like family. Where's Eddie Levert when we need him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's dead.
You know what I mean? But I do want to, as y'all know, I do have to talk about this election. I have been privileged, even more so than anybody, to have the tutelage of Professor Hughes here, who, I wish he would be at UWM teaching political science somewhere part-time, because his show is valuable. I encourage young people that I know to listen to him all the time so that they can become educated and know what the issues and maybe their real enemies are by actually listening to him. And Russell Vogt is one of them. He's the author of Project 2025. And actually listening to Professor Hughes' show has always made me become more detailed in my critique of people who I think don't have our best interests at hand. And this person actually states that Donald Trump was lying when he said he was not aware of Project 2025, even though we do have sufficient data that Project 2017 was very similar, that limits a lot of the things that benefit black people and the American public in general. And I just think, just many of the things this man has done makes him just
he should be disqualified. I think I texted that. If you try to hang your vice president and Dr. King's brethren, police are killed in your effort to lie about winning an election, I don't even know why there's a conversation. And with that said, I want to ask you guys, if, say, Mitt Romney or George Bush were running against Donald Trump today and they were your only choice, would you vote for them, or is there anybody that you can think of who is a worse candidate and who has disappointed the American people and embarrassed us in front of the world and shown our weakness more than the orange guy?
All right.
Hang up. I love all y'all, man.
Thank you much. Appreciate you.
All right.
I would, if those are the three I got to choose, I would probably choose George Bush because I know what you've already done. I know what your limitations are.
Papa Bush
or
Baby
no,
Bush?
Baby.
Okay.
W. Bush. Baby
W.
is Jeb.
George
Jeb
W.
didn't make it.
W.
Yeah, Jeb didn't make it out of Florida, so
Trump hurt his feelings.
Oh, Jeb.
So, and the reason I say that is because of an interview I saw with him on Oprah Winfrey, and somebody asked him about racism and all that, and he talked about that the main issue in America is the subtle bigotry of low expectation. That many times people see a black person and they automatically think they're not qualified. And when they think about it, and so I find it interesting in politics, we do this when a white person runs, right? Look at them. Well, I mean, they're eminently qualified. When a black person runs, they think black people will only vote for the black person because they're black and nothing else.
Right.
And I'm thinking, so what do you think we do when it's two white people running?
Exactly.
Like we can't think through who we want, or you're just saying that we always default race?
Yeah.
But when you default race, well, it's smart because we know the person is eminently qualified. Well, I don't think so.
Exactly.
I like to vote for black people.
So you're racist?
Because
it just doesn't happen that often. I don't get a chance to do it that often.
Can we get one to run?
Have you ever tried to thoroughly, personally explain racism, bigotry, microaggressions to a white person? They listen, but they don't get it.
They don't get it.
When this black person, they need to be qualified, they need to be educated, they need to have good policies.
Say that again. They need to be
all of those things I mentioned. But if they're black, they can be qualified, they can be educated, they can have the right policies, and they know what racism and bigotry is. And if I elect them, then I have another ally in fighting racism and bigotry from the perch in which we put them. That is why I like to vote for black people. But again, they have to be qualified. I can't just vote for you because you're black. I want you to be smarter than, better than, excellent policies,
more educated,
and then fight racism from your elected position.
Not only issue I got with that is microaggressions. You should probably get over those because them ain't never changing. And if somebody say something to you to take you off your game, you lost already. It's just me.
They're dangerous. I think they give hints to how somebody really feels.
But now I can deal with you. Thank you for the green light. Appreciate it.
Not that I want to mention where I experience lots of microaggressions. But.
You mean like on my show?
No, your show was great. There's no microaggressions.
No, yours was macro.
Right. I just pull out the hammer.
Yours was macroaggression.
No microaggressions there?
Yes.
I only deal on the macro.
Yes.
It's stuff like, Sherwin, you have a radio show? Oh, that you do?
Right.
Oh, holy smoke. Your family has to be so proud
Sherwin,
of you.
That's
you
so
have
cute.
a show?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, when you have people that are making decisions that aren't involved or have skin in the game, that's the thing that bothers me. Like, how can someone from New Berlin come to 24th and Burleigh and tell you how to spend money over here? It's like you don't understand.
No, but I just know it because this is how my family spends
this
money.
Is what I read. This is what I read.
Yes.
I'm right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
that's
There
the
you
thing
go.
that bothers me because no other community, we're not allowed to go to Menominee Falls and make decisions on what's going on out there because the first thing they're going to say is, well, you don't live here, you don't pay taxes out here. How in the world can you come here and tell us what we should or shouldn't be doing out here? So it's so acceptable, and it's even to a point where we've been conditioned to think it's the right way. And when it's someone else from another community telling us, well, they think this is the way we should spend it, so maybe we should. And it's like, how in the world can you tell me how to do this? And you've never been in this situation. You've never been a part of this. So that's my spiel.
When we come back, what are your predictions for the coming, how many days is it? 40? 30? 70 days come November 6th when everything's over. Will the dust even be over by November 6th? No, we don't know. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 1017 The Truth.
There are individuals in our community who certainly need health services, a variety of health services. What if they do not have health insurance? How can you serve that population?
Our community health center allows patients to come to our clinic regardless of their ability to pay, and that's part of our federal funding. You can come to our clinic and be seen based on what we call a poverty level. So anyone 200% or below a poverty level can be seen in our clinic for anywhere from $20 to $40 for that visit. So in other words, if your visit is a $400 visit and you fall on our sliding scale where you pay $20 for your visit, you would not be responsible for the $400. You'd only be responsible for $20 for that visit. Also, our pharmacy prescriptions are very, very affordable as well. Where you would normally pay, let's say for an inhaler, $240 a month for an inhaler, at our facility that would cost you about $4 or $5.
It's very good to know you guys have a sliding scale that makes it very, very affordable.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. Bailey Coleman, Telly Hughes, Sherwin Hughes. I'm Dr. Ken Harris. As we get into this final segment, what exactly is going to happen? Like, give me your idea of what you hope to happen, but then what's the flip side to that if it doesn't happen? Start with you, Bailey.
What I hope will happen is that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will be elected president, vice president.
Now you know I got to beat you up because I beat up everybody else. It's Madam Vice President.
Madam Vice President.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope that I hope that will happen. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the fallout is concerned, because there will be something, right? You got to look and go, okay, if that actually happens, either way, there's liable to be something that happens. Now, will we see another January 6th?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. And for many reasons, I don't think that we'll see that. But I know that there's going to be something that happens along the way. There's going to be a hiccup. It's going to be a hiccup. They're going to find something.
Oh, gosh,
blah, blah, blah. They're going
this one little dot here wasn't right.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's, so that's definitely going to happen. That's definitely going to happen.
Sherwin Hughes.
So I believe the U.S. Capitol and portions of Washington, D.C. are going to look eerily similar to the security perimeters and checkpoints that we had here in Milwaukee for the RNC. They're not going to let anybody get even close. On the day in which Congress certifies the election sometime the first week of January, they're going to have tremendous security. So I think that'll mitigate that. But I do think that there will be arguments, fights, disagreements, and some violence in actual state capitals. So that's going to take place. Tammy Baldwin will win she'll get reelected to the U.S. Senate. She's going to beat Eric Hovde by 11 points. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are going to win Wisconsin, Michigan, lose Ohio, pick up Pennsylvania, win North Carolina. Problem is the mail-in votes from Oregon, which is a blue state, are going to come in like days. Trump, it may be very, very close. There might even be a period of time where Trump is leading. Yeah. But then just like in 2020, when they count the mail-in votes, Trump is ultimately going to lose, and there's going to be, I'm predicting this, and I don't want this to happen, there's going to be some casualties, like actual real people getting hurt on Election Day because they are preparing for it. You also have a number of states, Republican states, of course, that are figuring out a way how a county can interfere with a state certifying the election. They're actually doing that in Georgia right now. So there's certain county officials that want to be able to, if they don't like the election result, stop the certification of Georgia for Kamala Harris. Now, they're not going to be able to do it, but it's going to sow more doubt and just drag everything out longer.
Telly Hughes.
I hope that the election process is over after that night.
Who you want to win, Telly?
I didn't ask all that. All
right. He didn't ask that. I said I hope for a peaceful transfer of power. Yeah. I also hope that whoever does win, it is about moving this country forward and not just, I mean, if Donald Trump wins, of course, it is kind of like a revenge tour. And he's going to be focused more on what happened in the past and what needs to move this country forward. If Madam Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz win, I hope that they can keep these good vibes and good energy going the way that Sherwin said, that people are more happy right now. This is a more connected, more unified party, and it was a party that before President Joe Biden stepped aside looked to have been very dysfunctional.
Yes.
And it was the Republican Party that looked more united because you had all of these Democrats that were coming out saying that they weren't going to continue to support President Biden. So I do like the fact that they have had a total reverse in terms of making unifying the party. She has done a great job of doing that. And it is almost kind of a repercussion a replica, just like Donald Trump is using the term "Make America Great Again." He ain't the first one to use that. Ronald Reagan used that.
Yeah.
And it seems like after the DNC in Chicago last week, I don't see why Madam Vice President Kamala Harris can't rejuvenate just running on hope. I mean, because that seemed to have been the theme of the DNC is hope and the hope of a better future, the hope of a better of America moving forward. And so I really hope that she is able to continue that if she is elected president, the 47th president of the United States.
Yep.
I got a minute, and I'm going to see if we can squeeze Denise in. Denise, you got about 30, 45 seconds. What's going on?
Just a quick question to the panel. How did you feel about the Milwaukee Police Union endorsing the Trump in his campaign? And I would like to hear Dr. Ken's take of anybody's. And this is a great discussion.
I think it was a little disingenuous because what happens is that the way the board is voted in is that you vote for the people to be on the board, and then they decide who the president is. So now you've got a group of people who really you didn't elect them to be in that position, but now they're in that position and they're making decisions for everyone. I don't like the fact that unions can pay money and support political figures. I think that's something that needs to end. That's why we have a school board that's garbage, and we have so many other things in America that's garbage. You want to be in a union, but shut up. All right, thank you, Denise. Anybody else?
No.
You're the last one.
Yeah.
You get the final word.
Yeah, you get the final word.
That's the first time in life that I'll ever hear that. And it's probably the last time in life that I'll ever hear that. No, I want to thank you all, Sherwin Hughes, Telly Hughes, Bailey Coleman. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
You going to be with us next month?
Huh?
You gonna be with us next month?
On one of the other.
No, on here. We're gonna be doing this again.
That's up to Kyle.
No, okay. You coming? Say
I'll
yes.
come.
Thank
yes,
you. See,
I'll be
that's
here.
it. That's all it
I'll be
takes.
at Mr. B's too.
There you go.
I'm coming to Mr. B's.
Thank you.
There you go.
When is it again?
Give me the time.
It's
5 until 7 on Friday.
On Friday?
8617 West Brownded Road.
I am free. I'm going to walk down the hill.
Look at that.
There you go.
You're going to walk down the hill.
And I'm going to put a kid at her house, so if she decides she don't want to come here next month, all she got to do is turn it on and talk. Hey, thank you all. I appreciate it. Truth Nation, we appreciate you listening. We'll be doing this again in about a month or so. It'll be closer. It'll be a little more hectic with things that are going on. We'll have more information. And it'll be after Trump and Kamala Harris have their debate because they have now solidified that on ABC.
Oh, wow. That's great.
It will be going.
He solidified? I thought he was calling it fake news.
Nope.
And he wanted to have it on that.
It's going on. It just came out
As
about
of today.
half hour ago.
That's good.
I think he might change his mind.
September
That's
10th.
I won't believe it until I see it.
All right.
Yeah.
Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. Thank you, DJ Brother Z. Appreciate you for producing this auspicious occasion. God bless. Take care. And I'm out.
The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
What's good, y'all? This is 1017 The Truth's Telly Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. The goal of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is to provide a platform for citizens of Milwaukee and Truth Nation to have their voices heard about concerns that have daily, direct impact. So join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.